Hi, I am attorney Amanda Schaefer. Welcome to #FollowAttorneyAmanda, where you follow me on my journey to get more likes on social media and ultimately more business. Today, we have our first guest of the series. And the one thing I forgot to ask you before we started recording is how to pronounce your last name.
That is fine. Everyone always asks and then butchers it anyway. So hi, I'm Stephanie Baiocchi. I'm the director of membership and events at Impact, but I have been doing marketing and social media and events for over a decade now.
Well, Stephanie, thank you so much for joining us today. The reason this all came about is I was watching one of the episodes that we had of #FollowAttorneyAmanda, and I talk about in that episode how, I have these analytics that I'm looking at every time I post something, and I don't know what any of this means. And I know this is like the 5th episode where I'm saying, oh, I'll circle back. And then, I do all the I don't know, Stephanie, how familiar you are with my law firm and what we do with our marketing, but I pretty much make 95 or 96% of the content myself, post it all myself. So I've learned everything to do myself. It's a lot to do, of course, I'm sure you know. So when I was saying this, and then I had an idea, why don't I get connected to somebody who is an expert in the industry that could say, hey, this is what you're doing, that's right. This is what you're doing, that's wrong. Hopefully more right than wrong. And maybe help me make sense of some of the numbers. I guess that's if these numbers are even important. So your company worked with Law Firm Suites, I believe, on their marketing.
We had, yeah.
And Steve Vernari reached out to you guys to see if somebody would be willing to talk to me, and you graciously were. And on that note, I plug things from my guests since I've had so many. This book I've been reading actually as well. This is from Stephanie's company. And we're going to talk a lot about this today. It says They Ask, You Answer is the name of the book.
Yes. By Marcus Sheridan, who's a good friend of mine, but also someone I've followed for essentially my entire career. Impact, our company, existed before Marcus and before I worked there. And we all kind of came together around the same time. I joined the company right as he was joining and merging his company with ours. Long story short, They Ask, You Answer just works so well. It's a philosophy that I believe in and I've implemented at my past companies. And Bob, our CEO and founder of Impact, saw that and said, I want to take this further and make it more well-known and used by more people because it's what works. And here we are.
Here we are. So I think the plan for today is we're going to look at we'll go to our website, our social media stuff, see, get your opinion on some of the stuff. And there were some very interesting things in the book when I'm reading that I wanted to talk to you about too, because it's very common sense, very logical. And I think you'll see that I've attempted to do some of the things the book talks about. So maybe we can help me improve on those things, or maybe I'm doing better than I thought or worse than I thought. Obviously, whatever feedback you have for me is better than I had this morning. So I would love to hear what somebody like you would have to say about these things, because I've literally never really had this done.
Yeah. So I definitely want to take a look at social. And I think, so I haven't looked at any of your social accounts yet. I think it's going to be the most fun to just kind of go through it, see what's there, and give my feedback as I see it in the moment. I do social media. I haven't been managing social pages that much right now, aside from a board that I'm a member of, that I volunteer to do their social. And so it's interesting because I was thinking this morning, I should go make sure I know. There's my dog saying hello. I should go make sure that I know the best place to find this or that analytics. And then I thought, I'm not going to do that because things in social media change so often that even if you think you know where something is, you could log in the next day and it's in a different place. It's constantly changing. So we'll just see if we can find what we need. That's half the fun of social media and its insanity.
Yeah, we had a virtual meeting last week, and I quickly saw that a lot of the questions I had I was looking at the wrong things or not in the right way. So that's why I figured from going from like more structured thing to like, let's just see.
Yeah.
Because I always love learning new things, and you know, I've spent a long time doing a lot of research to get everything up and running, and I've been doing this for a while. But you know, we kind of went up a little, and then you kind of level off, and then maybe up a little and level off. So I've never had the full momentum behind it, but we've only gone up, which is good.
That is good. So we'll take a look at it. We'll take a look at kind of the language that's being used, what tools are being used. We'll talk about posting on multiple channels, certain dates and times. But when we chatted originally, just to meet and discuss what this episode would be like, that's how They Ask You Answer came into our conversation. Is the first thing I always tell people with social media, or even ask them, is, okay, you want to know what content's working, if what you're doing is right. What is your content strategy? How are you coming up with the content that you're posting on social media? Because unlike what individuals follow each other on social media is like, which is very, very different. Like how I follow my mother-in-law is very different than how you're going to follow a brand or a business and then interact with them. It's not just enough to do the things we think of off the top of our heads. It is better than nothing in a lot of cases, because I always tell people, like, step one is checking your content. Step two is making sure that your page looks like a real business and that you're alive and that you haven't, closed your doors 5 years ago. And so if your last post is from 2013, that's obviously wrong too. So having posts is a good start, but having a strategy to make sure that those posts and that content is resonating with the right people, it's using language that is appealing to them and that is that's something that they would associate themselves with and see themselves in that language, that you're answering the questions they have. That is the most important. And that is essentially what the concept of They Ask You Answer is all about. It's these 10 core concepts. But they do drive a content strategy that lends itself to posting the right things on social media. So that is how we got to talking about it. And I think if anyone is interested in learning about They Ask You Answer and the philosophy and the concepts, you can certainly read the book. It's a great thing to do, and there is an audiobook. But if you're not a reader or you want a more interactive way to learn about it, I actually sent Amanda a link this morning. We have something called Impact Plus, which is our online learning community. You can create a free account, and there's essentially a video version. So you can watch a course on what They Ask You Answer is in these short little videos. You can easily knock it out in, I don't know how long the actual course is. I want to say like an hour and a half. It's not very long. And you'll already be well on your way to what this content strategy would look like. So we talked a little bit about that. One of the biggest things with They Ask You Answer, one of the most important core concepts, is this thing called the Big Five. And it's what we have seen and has been proven time and time again to be the five questions that people ask when they're looking to make a purchase or a business decision. And so there's all this fluffy content that we can create on social media. It could be contests, it could be day of the week themed things like Workout Wednesday or whatever. But if you're not answering these actual top five questions that people are looking for, they're not going to search through your social media and hope that they find that really great thing you posted a month ago to finally answer their question. They're going to Google it and they're going to find it somewhere else. And so these five things are the most important. And I know, Amanda, you've already created content for one of them for sure, which is reviews and product or service reviews are such a big part of this content strategy. It's so important. So I'm looking forward to seeing that. That's essentially the gist of the Ask Answer, all you need to know to get started with what we're going to look at today. So how about we pull up some social accounts?
Right. And just for anyone who's watching, I know where this vlog is marketed is for single attorney, smaller firms, because we're the ones who can't afford the big ad agencies. And so one of the things, like my journey to more likes in general, is figuring out a way to do it where I can do it myself, or I can, at least I can sustain doing it for a while. And just, I think being a little more efficient would be incredibly helpful for me, just because I
Yeah.
limited time, and I don't think I'm very far off. And I know a lot of other of my colleagues are in a similar place, but it's kind of like taking that next step. So hopefully we can get some insight on that. So thank you again for agreeing to do this with me today.
Yeah, for sure.
What site do you want to start on?
That is a great question. What site do you feel like is maybe working best for you right now?
I would say probably Facebook.
All right, let's take a look at Facebook.
I made this like really short video. Oh, here, this one.
There. I love that.
Just saying like how to contact us. So this was the one pinned for until then. And then like on the left, you see like here, I had an event. So whenever I have an event coming up, that will be the thing that's pinned.
Yeah, that's great. I would absolutely pin this video. And I like that you have the contact information there. The caption of welcome is great. I would maybe give people a little more context about what they're going to see in the video so they can decide if they want to continue watching or click on mute. This could easily be a video of you just saying, hi, welcome, I'm Amanda, nice to meet you, contact us. Or it could have some really valuable information. And at this point, I don't know. So I would maybe give a little more context in the caption. And if you can, I would upload a closed caption file as well. So many people watch social media videos on the train, let's face it, in the bathroom, and they're not going to turn the sound on, especially in the bathroom at work when you're sharing.
I actually think it's supposed to have automatic captions. I might have had them turned on.
It might, and automatic captions are definitely better than nothing. But with a tool called Rev, REV.com, it is super simple to get a caption file. It's $1 a minute, so it's very inexpensive for one video. It's $1, and it's way better than auto-generated captions, especially if you have even the slightest accent on some of your words. Those auto-generated captions can not go so well. And so Rev gives you the opportunity to. It's usually ready in, I think it's like within 15 minutes. It's very quick for a video this short. With a video closer to an hour, it can take a couple hours to generate, but you can go through, clean up the captions, and download them. And this is one of those really small tips that I think makes a world of difference. When you're uploading captions on Facebook specifically, they need to be not only in the caption file name, they need to be in English, which we know the file name has English in it. On Facebook, you have to specify that it's US English, at least if you're in the US, not UK English. And so this is a little tip that it can feel complex now, but once you do it once, it's second nature. You download your captions file from Rev, and it'll say English dot and then the file name. All you have to do is add _US right before the file name, and it works perfectly. Otherwise, you upload that caption file to Facebook, and it's going to say, what type of English is it? This caption didn't work, and people get really frustrated, like, why didn't that work? And it can make such a world of difference because the engagement on your video, the watch time on your video can go up if people don't have to unmute it, or they can see what you're saying in the captions and already be excited to keep watching it. That being said, on your video, which is great, you have that contact information at the bottom. The captions would likely cover that up. And so you may want to move the contact information up to the top bar so that you can have your captions there as well.
That makes sense. One of the things that I did with some of my older videos, this was probably more than 2 years old now. I have a lot of videos on YouTube that are old that weren't live.
Mm-hmm.
When I used to do videos that weren't live, I would then write the transcript up myself. Mm-hmm. It wouldn't be closed captioning. I know that's plays while you do it. Mm-hmm. I didn't know. I was doing it for a while for SEO purposes. Mm-hmm. Then I felt like I was just taking too much time, and with hashtags, I could just find the keywords and put them in.
Yeah, you can pretty much accomplish that with hashtags. If you're going to transcribe something, you'd be almost better off writing an article on your website and putting the SEO and the credit on your website, and then embedding your YouTube video there for people to watch. Rev actually does give you the option to do transcripts as well. So if you had a longer video that was really great content and you thought, I want to get the SEO juice, for lack of a better word, out of this, I want to write up the whole thing, you can also get a transcript from Rev and then turn that into a blog. And it actually is a great way to do interviews like this, because you can get the interview like name, colon, and the transcript. So people can read along with an interview, which is nice.
That's good to know.
So that being said, we are almost at the end of our time and going to have to wrap up. And as you can see, we've only gotten through part of one social channel, which shows like how much effort and energy and time goes into social media, which is crazy, especially for something that is sometimes only seen by a handful of people. It's frustrating. It's exhausting. I get it. That's why I love the Ask Answer so much, is it is the concepts of the perfect way to get more out of your content while it's being seen by other people. And so I think everything you've created here is really great. And I love the idea of having it on your website, using it in your emails. If someone contacts you to set up a meeting, maybe sending them something in advance that answers those common questions. It can absolutely live on social media, and that's great. And people can see it.
For sure. Well, yeah, so thank you so much. I put the link to the impact classes when Megan posts this video. I'll make sure she has that, and okay, a link to buy the book as well, so we cover all bases here. So yeah, thank you again, and check back a future episode of #Follow Attorney Amanda. We'll hopefully be talking to either Stephanie again or more experts to try to figure out what's going on with all the social media and kind of judge how I'm doing. It sounds like I'm at least going in a direction.
Yeah,
I'm going forward. So
absolutely.
That's good, which makes me very happy. I mean, I can tell by the phone, not the phone ringing itself. That's not a good gauge. The schedule filling up. Yeah. And we've had, usually summers are slow time, and it has not been slow. So that's always good, but it helps to definitely hear some of these things from someone who knows what they're talking about, as opposed to me, who just makes it up as I go along.
Well, for making it up as you go along, I think you've been doing pretty well. I like the content in the posts and a few tweaks, and I think you'll be moving forward even faster.
Awesome. Well, we'll try to do that and see if we can fill people in next time on how some of those tweaks have helped us or not helped us, but I have a good feeling.
Sounds good. I'll talk to you soon.
Thank you so much. Have a good day.